Hey everyone, for this week's Canvas tip, we're going to talk about putting custom links in your Canvas course navigation. So let's dive right into it. So here I am in a published course that just has the PDC course template in it, so there's not a whole lot of content. So I'm going to use this student view button up to the top right to see what my students see. And you'll notice we have our typical links in the left navigation menu. There's nothing custom. But if I wanted to add a link to this navigation menu, there's a way to do it. And we do it by adding the Redirect Tool app. So the way that we do this is first we'll leave the student view. And now I'm in a blank course that also has the PDC course template. And I'm going to go to my settings. And now I'm going to search for the redirect tool by typing in the word redirect. So this is the redirect tool. So I'm going to click it to select it, and I'm going to click Add App. And now I'm going to put in the name of the item that I want to show up in my left course menu. And then I'll place my URL here where I want the link to go. So if I wanted to send people to the PDC website, for example, I would enter in the PDC website link like this. Now, if you have a long or complex link, you might not want to type this in manually. You might want to open up a new tab in your browser, go to that link, and then copy the full link so that way you don't have a chance of entering in a typo. So once you have your name of your tool, so we'll put PDC website, and your URL filled out, now you get to choose if you want this to open in a new tab or if you want it to show in the course navigation. I'm going to show you two ways. I'm going to show you how to force it to open in a new tab and also what it looks like when you don't force it to open in a new tab. And there are benefits of both ways, and we'll talk about that when we get there. But you do generally want to make sure that this shows up in the course navigation, otherwise you won't get your nice link here in your course menu. So you can go ahead and click Add App when you're ready. And then if you refresh your page, you should see your changes to your course menu here. Now I've created a couple of these. So I created this one and this one before I started recording, and then we created this one together. So let's look at this one first. So because this is forced to open in a new tab, this is what your students will see. They will see this link that says open in a new tab, and when they click that new tab, it will load the PDC website. If you do it where you have it displaying internally instead, so that means you don't force it to open in a new tab, so you uncheck that first box, then here's what it's going to look like with our internal display. So you'll see this is the PDC website. It automatically adapts the mobile view based on the size of my screen, and this is what my page looks like. So it's important to note a couple of things. First, generally speaking, it's a best practice to keep students within the original course environment. This is because it reduces their confusion. They're staying in their course, so it feels like a part of the course content. They don't have the opportunity to get lost by opening up a new tab and having trouble, getting back to find their course and things like that. That being said, we run into an accessibility issue here because now we have a page that has its header cut off. So there's ways that you can check the accessibility of your page. For example, there's the WebAIM accessibility checker, and that's a browser extension that you can install. We're not going to talk a whole lot about that today, but if you go to the PDC website and navigate to the guides on accessibility, you'll find information about the WebAIM accessibility checker. And that's a way that you can scan your page and you'll see if it's accessible or not. So So I recommend that you do that in general. But there's also the issue, right, of this being the mobile view. Now we have our menu that's kind of stacked up here, and it takes a while to get to the actual page content. So there are issues, even though this is a best practice to link it within our course, we may run into those accessibility issues. So we have to weigh that when we're making our decision as to whether or not we're going to link externally or internally. So you really need to look at, the website that you're using may also have a really nice mobile view, and maybe it doesn't have a whole lot of items in the menu, or it has a collapsed menu. So that way you don't run into this kind of issue and you don't run into the header display issue. So it's important when you put this in for you to test how it looks, and you can test it just by clicking on the link, or you can also go into your student view. Remember, that was the button that was up to the top right of our page when we were on the home page of our course. So either way is fine, but it's actually going to display the same way with the redirect tool, whether you're in student view or not. So let's look at our student support page. This is a great web page for students. By the way, this is linked in the PDC Canvas course template. So do check that out. That's also on the PDC Canvas support page. So check that out if you haven't already. But again, there's a ton of really, really helpful resources. But I would prefer to see this page in a new tab rather than seeing this display because of the way that it happens to display. A great way to use the redirect tool is for your weekly lectures. So if you're using a recurring Zoom link, you can add that link with the redirect tool, and that makes it easy for your students to see your link right away. So the great thing about the redirect tool is that you can add multiple redirect links. So if I go back into my settings, I can view my app configurations, and I can find all of the ones that I added with the redirect tool. They will be labeled with whatever label I gave them when I created them. So I can go through and I can delete any of these. I can also edit if I want to see what my link is. So right here in the custom fields, you can edit that link. So if let's say I did a typo right here, right? I might want to go in here and just change my link and update it that way. I can also add multiple links by going to my course settings. So I'm just going to click on course settings again. And then I'll go to the apps tab and then search for the redirect tool. And I can add this app as many times as I want. I'll click on this and click add app. And then again, I can add as many links as I want. Right, however I want to do this, if I want it to show up in the course navigation, if I want it to open in a new tab or not. So that's it for this week's Canvas tip. We went over how to add custom links to your Canvas course menu by using the redirect tool. If you have any other questions or comments, or just want to follow up on some of the other web resources that I talked about today, go to hartnell.edu/pdc/canvas. Thanks for watching.